live from New York on Wednesday night at 8 p.m. It's Ask an Engineer.
Hey everybody, welcome to a Wednesday evening Ask an Engineer, that's right. We have moved to Wednesday, so if you're watching this on YouTube on a Saturday night, you missed the notice, we moved to Wednesday.
Yeah.
If you're watching us live, then stick with us because we have an exciting show.
That's right.
It's me, Lady Ada, the engineer. With me is PT on video cam support and has a really cool jacket today. Also some good stuff to show.
It's part of my costume that I'm going to be working on this year. I'll talk about that soon.
What's the thing is, like, people actually got a double dose of Ask an Engineer this week because we had Ask an Engineer on Saturday.
Yeah.
And now we're having it like 4 days later. So this is like 50% more Ask an Engineer this week.
Yeah. Okay, on tonight's show, the code is Wednesday 8 p.m. That's right. WEDS 8 p.m. Celebrating our move to Wednesday. We'll have the show and tell. Talk about what was going on there. We had a full house. It was really great. People who couldn't get on before, now they can because it's Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. We'll talk about Maker Faire at the White House. Unbelievable. Wow. We got Packet the Mailbag.
Hey.
We'll be talking about Digi-Key. They have an awesome photo set. We'll introduce you to our new member of the family, our auto-stenciler. We'll talk about some open source hardware. Talk about the Adafruit learning system. We got some Time Travel Tuesday. We got Wearable Wednesday. We got 3D Thursday. We got Pi Day. We're going to have a metric ton of new products. We're going to answer your question. We're going to have a trivia question. All that and more on Ask an Engineer.
Okay.
All right, so
I'm here.
let's first pay some bills, shall we? Wednesday PM's code, 10% off everything in stock in the Adafruit store, except for Eagle Cat and gift certificates.
If it can be put in a box, it's 10% off.
Yeah.
Including all the new stuff.
Yeah, and just a reminder, so we still have free deals going on. Here's what you get right now.
Free.
Yeah, UPS ground in the continental US, $200 or more, that's yours. $99 or more, you get an Adafruit Perma Proto half size.
Not a fill, you get the thing over there.
Yeah, a half size Perma Proto. These are super popular, people want these, so we're giving away for free
Very
for orders
handy.
over $99. Most orders are over $99, so it
You
works
get
out
one
really
for
well.
free. We used to give away rulers, but enough people order like once a month at least that we're like, let's switch it up. So now we're giving away a Perma Proto.
Yeah, we're still accepting Bitcoin. It's the weirdest thing ever, but we're doing it. So Bitcoins are still accepted at Adafruit. It's been
Until
working out really
everybody gets arrested and goes to jail for it, we're still accepting Bitcoins.
Yeah. And then just a reminder, everyone, you're watching this right now. The show and tell was at 7:30. Ask an Engineer is 8 p.m. Wednesday nights now. Moved the show and tell. It worked out great. Thank you, Roberto, Robert, Tim, Andy, and Phil. And Ask an Engineer is now. One quick programming note. The reason why we're doing this is this guy Andy wanted it. No, he said that on the show and tell.
Thank you so much.
He said that on the show and tell. He's like, this really works out good for me.
all you, Andy.
But one of the reasons we did this was, one, we wanted to have some schools and some businesses and other time zones around the world. We've been doing this for a couple of years on the show and tell and Ask an Engineer for 4 years. So we wanted to give the other side of the world a shot for a little while. Maybe we'll do it on Wednesdays for 4 years and we'll switch again. And the other thing is, you like to do long runs of engineering late at night. That's your thing.
That could be my thing.
You like listening to like techno and like doing engineering until like 3 in the morning.
Lately, I've been going back to like the 9 Inch Nails.
Yeah.
I'm like on the 9 Inch Nails Pandora station, and like I learned to code to 9 Inch Nails, and now I'm back to coding on 9 Inch Nails, and it's still the best coding music.
Yeah.
Excellent albums.
So this is.
So I get more time on the weekend to listen to 9 Inch Nails, Piggy, write some code, lay out some circuit boards.
Yeah, and like you've been a trooper for the last 4 years. You've given up your Saturday nights, and the shows take a long time to do. So thank you for doing that. And now Wednesdays, we have.
You had to do all the show setup. You do all of this by yourself, and it was you also lost Saturday. You'd actually have to start earlier.
Yeah.
I could at least like hack around on electronics till like 6 p.m.
Yeah.
But you had to start at like 2.
So on Wednesdays we have Wearable Electronics with Becky Stern at 2 p.m. Eastern, and then we have actually a internal show that we do. It's called the Web Dev Chat, where we talk with all of our developers here at Adafruit. But that one's private. Maybe one day we'll make it public.
I don't know if you guys want to listen to it yet.
Yeah, it's mostly about like Memcache and stuff. Okay.
Memcache D, that's what we're doing today.
And then we have Show and Tell at 7:30, and then Ask an Engineer at 8. So anyways, thank you everyone who's sticking with us as we change the time period. But
these are comfy chairs. I could sit in this chair all day.
Okay, Lady Ada,
Yeah. What's up?
What was on the show and tell tonight?
Okay, we had show and tell, and people showed
Yeah.
up. Thank you, people who remembered that it was Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. now. Roberto came back. He was on last Saturday with his totally awesome Chinese water dragon, not cage, but like aquarium.
You had to plant them all.
It was a terrarium. What do they call the things that they put lizards in? Terrariums? Anyways.
I think you could say aquarium, but it's just not for aqua.
It's not full of water. Anyway, you can tell I've never owned a lizard. Anyways, but they're adorable lizards. And he's got this whole like lizard habitat completely geeked out. There's PIR sensors. It's running Java servlets on a Raspberry Pi. It's got this animal plant, a planimal. It's a plant that has a servo in it, so it like moves when it detects motion. So hopefully this will keep the lizards like, I think they'll just be like scared a lot because like everything's moving and
yeah, and he actually showed his lizard. Like we're very, I guess we're associated as a cat company. Of cats of engineering, we have cats. But this time we had a lizard, and the lizard was looking at us. Cool.
So cute.
Yeah, super cute lizard.
Cute lizard. Thank you, Roberto. Oh, and the code is available on his GitHub account, which he pronounces JitHub. I don't know. Maybe JitHub is the right way to say it.
It's all good.
One bear toe.
Yeah.
Like one, like bear, and then like toe, like not a finger but a toe. Okay. Next up was another Robert. We actually didn't have a project, but he will next week, and he better.
Yeah, he's going to come back with a project.
He better come back with a project. Yeah. Next week, Wednesday, 7:30 p.m. Tim had a really fun Instructable that he's entered into a Pi contest that they're running called a Pi Joke Machine. And it's a Raspberry Pi that has a Wi-Fi module and a little like LCD keyboard thingy, a 16 by 2 LCD, and it goes onto the internet. And it gets jokes from like this web server, and it displays them on the LCD, and you can like press buttons to play more jokes or go back and forth with jokes. I don't know, it's cute. It's a cute idea. They're little kind of .sig type jokes. They're not like hardcore jokes, but they're funny. They're funny. They're family friendly.
Yeah.
Andy came by. Andy's the reason we moved the show and tell to Wednesday.
He had some beautiful art.
And he made beautiful NeoPixel art by combining a NeoPixel ring on a servo that rotated with these laser cut, like intricate, sort of like it's like a little bit like Islamic art sort of cutouts. And he shines the light through these cutouts and he rotates things so it looks like it's shifting and moving. Very beautiful, very dreamlike. For sort of elegant art. So he has a lot of really cool art going on. And then Phil B. Paint Your Dragon, who is our resident laser Pi master. I don't know, master of all, really.
That's right.
And a dragon. He was showing off some projects that he's been working on with us. First up is he designed an awesome laser cut enclosure for the DisplayPort Retina desktop monitor that we're going to be releasing soon. We actually just got some plastic in. He like totally did that project in a week, and it's beautiful. So we'll have photos of it up soon. You can watch the video, you can see it. He did a good job. He's also been working on a Pi-Cade project. He did a Pi Arcade joystick adapter for a Raspberry Pi, and that was cool. But this time he is doing one for our Pi TFT, and he's going to make a little arcade box that's this big. It's super cute, so I can't wait to see it. He's been working on the case now, and
if you watch the show and tell, it's on YouTube right now. You can scrub to that point, and you can see a little miniature
Pac-Man.
Miss Pac-Man.
Miss Pac-Man, and he's got a little joystick, and he's using a comparator to convert the analog joystick to a digital joystick. It's a bit of a hack, but whatever works.
Yeah. Okay. All right, Lady Ada, how do people get on the show and tell?
Getting on the show and tell is super easy. Go to our Google Plus page at plus.google.com/+Adafruit and find the part where we say, hey, comment here to get added to the show and tell circle. And then every single Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, which is a half an hour before this show, Ask Engineer, you can come by and show your project.
Yeah.
And if you were unable to show on Saturdays, because we've been doing it on Saturdays for like 3 years, you can now show it on Wednesday.
Yeah.
So Wednesday. If you've been showing stuff on Saturday, you don't have to be re-added to the circle. Once you get added to the circle, you can show up any Wednesday.
Yeah.
But please show up and show off your projects, because we'd like to have some people on the weekday.
All participants of the show and tell get it. As seen on the show and tell sticker for you on show and tell this week. Please email support@adafruit.com. You get one of these stickers. If you hear some noise in the background, that's our folks in our shipping and logistics department, and they're shipping stuff. So if you order something, it'll also maybe
they're shipping right now.
Every time I take our notes and I make a little paper airplane thing. Okay. All right. Next up. Happy Chinese New Year, Lady Ada.
Yay.
This year is year of the green wooden horse.
Yes.
So every year has an animal. This
Yeah.
year is a horse.
Yeah.
And it's really neat because last year was the black house water snake. It's a little tiny, cool snake that lives in like your house, and it's friendly and it likes water. This is a green wood horse this year.
Is it like a horse made out of wood or a horse that lives in a wood?
It's just there's an element and then there's a color.
Okay.
And it doesn't actually mean a green wooden horse. I suppose you can do that, but
Because a green wood is a type of wood.
yeah.
I mean, maybe a horse made out of
And
green
so
wood.
for people that are in the electronics world, that just means none of us got deliveries for like 2 weeks.
I know. I like that. I like that there's a Chinese New Year. Actually, it was kind of nice.
Yeah.
Like I got a break. You know, because it's like I wasn't dealing with shipments and deliveries, and you know, we get a lot of our components from China, so it was like a break.
Yeah.
We got to work on some new stuff.
So
plan
Happy
all
New
over the
Year.
year. Happy New Year. A horse is
Yeah.
it's a very lucky animal.
Yeah.
Strong, beautiful.
My name means like lover of horses or something.
Philip
And I
means
was
lover of
when I was a kid, horses like me and I like them.
All animals like you, though.
Yeah, they do. They like to sit on top of me and like snuggle.
Not horses, though. They're heavy.
Yeah, but they like
They would like
nuzzle.
them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's because you give them carrots and sugar cubes and shit.
Yeah, I was their friend. Okay, next up, big news. This is really big news. If you go to whitehouse.gov/Maker Faire, there's going to be a Maker Faire at the White House.
Yeah.
Joey Hootie, who is a well-known young maker, is in this very short promo. It's like a commercial-like thing on the site, and he was able to fire a weapon in the White House. No, it was a marshmallow shooter that he made, and Obama fired it, and it like hit the wall. I think it's the first time in history that marshmallows were shot at, like, you know, in the White House.
Oval Office.
But this is really interesting. It just means that the maker movement continues to attract the attention of everyone.
This is cool.
And everyone wants to be part of it. And politics aside, doesn't matter what you like or don't like. It's cool to see makers at the highest level of the government being celebrated. So we are what we celebrate, folks. This is much better than maybe having reality show stars at the White House, and I think that's happened in the past.
This is way better. No, I like this. This is cool. It's good to see that, you know, whether or not you voted for this president, it's
Doesn't
still
matter.
it's still cool to see them celebrating
Yeah.
young makers and inspiring them and showing them that, like, the president will hang out with you.
Yeah, no matter
If
what,
you're a maker.
no matter what political party ever happens to be in the White House, if you want to be relevant to what's going on in this nation, you have to have makers. You have to have makers, the people that are doing things, getting industry started, using the tools and the equipment that we make in the U.S., or we have a great global trading system now that's fantastic. This is really neat. So look for it soon. There's not a lot of details, but they're going to be announcing them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyways.
Next up.
Are they doing a call for makers, or how does that work?
Yeah, check out the website, because there is a call for makers.
Okay.
Next up, Fritzing Friday. Which parts are these?
These are the Neo Pixel Matrix 8x8s. They're all little Neo matrices.
Yeah.
And we have a fritzing part for them. You
right.
can tile them together. The little ground pads are connected, so you can sort of ground, you know, you can show how they're connected. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Okay.
Lots of NeoPixels.
Every week we have letters from the mailbag. This is Packet the Mailbag. These are emails or tweets or forum posts, or sometimes we get a postcard or a letter in the mail. This week, it's from Limsip, and Limsip says,
Thanks, Limsip.
I just want to congratulate all at Adafruit for creating such a marvelous electronic service and electronic learning experience. I'm sure in the years to come you'll bump into many an individual with an interest in electronics that you've directly helped to nurture. Believing scarcity adds value, I seldom publicly praise anything, and being British, I try not to do over things when I do. Your company is outstanding.
Wow.
Thank you, Limsip. Very cool. Thank you. And we actually shared that in our company meeting.
Yes.
We read these to everyone at Adafruit. Now up to 64 people, Lady Ada.
We finally have a British person who likes our notes. It's funny.
You know, when you earn the Brits' respect and admiration, you know you've done something good.
Okay.
They have very high standards. Okay.
Actually, you know, we have a lot of British customers now because the Raspberry Pi is really well loved in the UK.
Yeah.
And they buy a lot of Adafruit accessories for Raspberry Pi.
Yeah.
And follow our tutorials.
Okay, next up. This is a really, really cool photo set. You guys have to see it. We posted a link
This
to
is
it
the
on
coolest
our
thing
blog.
all week.
We posted a link on our blog. Digi-Key let, I think it was E! Times, go in with a camera and take photos. And this was the first shot, and then there's 16 photos altogether, and you talk about Digi-Key. They have...
So first off, what is interesting, go back.
Oh,
I want to
you
say
wanna go
was,
back? Okay.
yeah. First off, what's interesting, because if you're going to go through the post, Look at all these very young people. I did not expect this many young people to be working at Digi-Key, but this isn't really, it's good work for if you're younger. Like you can get training.
Yeah.
And you start as like, you know, a packager.
They have mouse cart. So
they have
mouse cart because the warehouse is so big. But anyways, they ship tens of thousands of orders a day. And
how many orders? 20,000 orders?
Over 20,000 orders a day.
20,000
and if you order by 8 p.m., they do same day. They made all these arrangements with all the carriers. They're like a grown-up version of Adafruit. Like I'd love to go there and see everything. And when we looked at the photos, they do a lot of things like we do, but just in bigger scale. So it's very nice. And the mouse cart, if we had...
This is so cool. So it's a skateboard. I don't think
it's a scooter with a cart on it. Yeah.
A scooter so you can scooter around.
Yeah.
This is brilliant. I mean, we don't have enough space here for that, so it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
But
it's super cool.
It's genius.
Anyways, check out the photo set. And it's part of our Manufacturing Monday series. Speaking of Manufacturing Monday, we added a new member of the family here at Adafruit. We have our new auto-stenciler from Speedline.
Yes. They look so small in this photo. They look like little teeny
and we have,
stencilers. But they're actually quite big.
Here's
it's like 5 by 5 by
video
5 feet.
That, this is when we were first doing our training. So this is the stenciler just going through its test. There wasn't any paste on it. We just wanted to show, like, here's the interface, here's what it does. And the other thing that we have is this really nice photo. I wanted to zoom in on it. So this is what it looks like. There's a Mugi or Samsung pick and place, and then next to it is the stenciler. And these two are connected. They'll actually pass boards back and forth. And so the cool thing about that it means you put the boards on one side, it stencils it, high precision, and then it goes, and then it does the picking and placing in the next machine. Yeah.
So what's interesting about the Samsung is extremely precise. And it has great vision for detecting that it's picked up the right part. And then the stencil that we have now, that's what it squeegees the solder paste onto the circuit board.
Yeah.
It is so precise now, and it does a vision inspection afterwards. So it takes photos of the board to make sure that the paste is covering all the pads, there's no bridging, and there's no missing paste. It does such a good job of that we actually are getting like 100% yields now. Every board that's gone through the stencil and pick and place has been perfect. I don't think, other than ones that had damaged components, which happens sometimes. We had some lifted pins on like one of the connectors. They're all perfect.
Today I set up my GoPro right where the boards get passed, just for a quick test. This is not my masterpiece movie that I think is going to win an Oscar. This is my GoPro test. So I just want to show you guys. It's a very short video.
So this is from underneath.
That's right. And this is us doing the fade candy.
So this is looking up into the sky.
Yeah.
And the board, you can see it's coming from the right after it's been stenciled, and it waits there. It waits for the pick and place to tell it it's ready.
Yeah.
And then you can't see it, but it pushes it and it gets picked up by the other machine. These little,
Okay, wow. So that was weird. We're back.
Our software quit.
Yeah.
It can take it anymore. No, it was like, what are you doing on Wednesday? Why are you, I was all ready for Saturday.
Yeah, so I think we're back right now. It looks like everything's okay. Whew. All right, we're back on Ustream for sure. And
that was like the fastest restart.
I'm really fast at recovering these errors when they happen. Okay. So let's keep going, and let's hope that doesn't happen again. I'm going to talk about some open source hardware.
All right, let's not show the GoPro, but maybe they're jealous of the GoPro.
Yeah, all right, open source hardware. Anyways, this is a great little pinout diagram.
Yes, somebody in the forums did this lovely diagram of
I think this was Mike from Mike Barella did this. I think so.
I don't know.
I think so. I think he's in the chat too.
Okay.
So maybe
if he did, he'll take credit for it.
Maybe he can confirm.
Okay.
Okay. Next up, speaking of open source hardware, we have a contest coming up. This is win a BeagleBone Black case. All you have to do is post yeah, that's right. All you have to do is post up your BeagleBone Black project. We're picking 10 winners a week for 4 weeks. You just put it up on any old social network, and we'll find it. You just have to tag it, pound BeagleBone Black case.
You can put it on your MySpace, Face, Twitter, Plus.
Yeah.
Anywhere you want.
Yeah. Okay.
And tag it, and you'll get one of these free cases. So show us a project that really deserves a case.
Yeah. Okay. Next up, Adafruit Learning System. Lady Ada, you have some tutorials. We're gonna have to go a little bit faster. Since
no, it's cool. No, I know.
All right, here we go.
Let's go.
Yeah, what is this tutorial?
This is a tutorial for our 2.8 watt stereo amplifier, the TS 2012, which is a lovely little Class D amplifier that runs on 5 volts. We've actually had it in the shop for a couple months, and I sort of never got around to a tutorial for it, and yesterday I did. So check it out.
Okay, and then next up we have
PIR sensor.
this is an update.
We have an update tutorial. Yeah, this tutorial, I wanted to update it. I had to do some math and measurements to have it reflect the PIR sensor that's currently in the shop. We moved the tutorial from ladyada.net over to learn.adafruit.com. It's one of the few tutorials that was remaining. So it's now lovelier than ever, and some links got fixed. So if you have a PIR sensor, it's the best PIR sensor tutorial on the internet.
Okay. Next up, Time Travel Tuesday. Every Tuesday, which was yesterday, we have things in the world of makers, hackers, artists, engineers, and more. Lots of things happen, including the anniversary of Facebook that we posted up. But this is Ken Thompson, and you know Ken Thompson. What is he most famous for, Lady Ada?
Ken Thompson basically invented C. I believe he also worked on Unix. Kind of did everything at the time. He was at AT&T, right?
Definition of UTF-8 encoding.
Yeah. He designed and implemented the original Unix operating system.
Yeah.
And he also invented B, which was the predecessor to C. And I believe he also worked on the C language. Not maybe as much as like Kernighan and Ritchie, but
C and Unix, yeah. One question that someone had before about the Adafruit Learning System: can anyone write a tutorial and upload it? Not yet, but
not at this time.
What we do is we select authors. So if someone has a great instructable and they want to put it on the learning system where they contact us, we can
blog.
we can give them an account.
Or a Google Plus post. We'll say, hey, that's a really cool project you did. Why don't you come put it on the learning system? It's not quite ready for public consumption yet.
Yeah. Okay. Next up, Wearable Wednesday. All the news that's fit to wear. That's my little joke. A couple neat things in the cosplay world. We have our cosplay and costuming posts. This is a Optimus Prime that's powered by an Arduino.
Bam.
That's how all the lights are going.
It's cool.
We're doing a series of posts about Dune costuming. We want to have a theme for our internal holiday party here this holiday season, which is Halloween. And so there's a Bene Gesserit, and then this is the still suits, and this is how they're made, and really, really cool costuming for a science fiction genre that just doesn't have conventions around it. It's just too weird, I think.
No, there's no Dune convention.
There's no Dune Con.
Really?
There's no Dune Punk. There's no spice eating contest. There's no Water of Life shots. Not yet. Okay. So I actually got this jacket because I'm going to modify it probably to be part of my costume. That's why I'm wearing this jacket right now. Anyways. Okay. So let's
I don't know who I'm going to be. I'm going to be like Lady Jessica or something.
Yeah. So
does she have red hair? I don't know what color she red hair she has.
Bald. You can be bald. It's fine.
Was she bald too?
Yeah, they're all bald.
Oh man.
Okay.
I like my hair.
All right.
Okay.
So we're gonna keep moving on.
Keep moving.
All right. Next up.
Enough Dune.
3D Thursday. So we have a really cool project that we published on the Learning System. I saved this one from the Learning System over to here, and this one is a 3D printed camera LED ring.
Yeah.
Which is
what's funny is people when we released the LED rings, everyone was like, "Oh my God, I'm gonna make an LED ring for a camera," and we're like, "Okay, well, we should probably show how to do that." So when we got the 24 LED ring out, it's about the same size as many DSLR output sort of rings, and even though you could cram it on, it's nicer to have this little 3D printed.
Okay, so we have a video
thingy.
Hopefully this will work out. If there's an oddity, we'll be right back, but I think it'll be okay. So let's watch.
Let's try this.
Get those pixel-perfect macro shots by building your own DIY ring of light with the NeoPixel Ring and Trinket, our tiny Arduino microcontroller. Adding a ring of light around your SLR lens will give you better diffused light, perfect for close-ups where shadows are a problem, or outdoors where you can't carry your lighting rig. Our 3D printed design is available on Thingiverse for free. You can get the parts to build this project by heading on over to Adafruit.com. The LED base will house the NeoPixel Ring and has a part at the top that snaps into the hinge for adjustable lighting. The cable connections are carefully tucked underneath the NeoPixel Ring. Transparent PLA makes a great cover that will diffuse and soften our NeoPixels. The hinge connector snaps onto the LED base and mounting clip. The enclosure attaches to the mounting clip and houses the 5-volt trinket and rechargeable battery. The channel in the middle of the connector nicely hides the wires. Just slip the wires through the hinge connector and tuck them into the clip's channel. Our 5-volt trinket will drive the NeoPixel ring. A complete circuit diagram is up on Adafruit's learning system. The 5-volt trinket nicely fits and snaps into the bottom of the enclosure. A JST connection will help you quickly switch out the batteries for a recharge. Program the NeoPixel ring to any color with Arduino using our NeoPixel library. What awesome DIY lighting project do you want to build? Let us know in the comments below. If you use this ring to take great pics, let us know by posting them up.
Okay, and okay.
We were never gone.
Yeah, this is getting interesting tonight. So
We've been here the entire time.
yeah, we're gonna move on to new products.
Okay, that was our intermission.
Yeah.
We did that on purpose.
Yeah. On Wednesday nights, we're just gonna take breaks in the middle of the show.
For fun.
No, well, let's actually hit Pi Day real quick.
Okay.
So Pi Day is here.
Okay.
We have one really neat project that we saw in Instructables that was really cool.
Yes.
It is a Pi camera.
Yes, this is a rechargeable LiPo-powered Pi camera that uses the awesome Raspberry Pi TFT camera tutorial that Phil B. Paint Your Dragon did on the learning system, where he made a touchscreen controlled Raspberry Pi camera. And it's actually like uses all the filters that are built into the camera. It's a really, really fun project. But the only thing that's a little like not perfect about that awesome project that Phil B. did is it doesn't have a battery built in. So you can either get a USB battery pack, but it's kind of hanging out outside, or you have to have a USB cable connected. So this enterprising person not only fit inside a rechargeable LiPo battery and a charger, but also designed a full laser cut case that like snaps together. That makes this into a somewhat bulky, but completely open source software running camera. So it's a Linux touchscreen camera.
What's cool is 10 years ago, this would have been the best camera in the world, and now you can just make one yourself.
You can make your own camera. So it's funny because we have the DIY camera kits, but this
Yeah.
is a Raspberry Pi powered one.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, before we go off on new products, the code is Wednesday PM. Don't forget, 10% off everything in stock in the Adafruit store, including a lot of the stuff for new products. So, Lady Ada, with that being said,
Is it time for new?
it's time to do new products. Okay.
It's time for new.
First up, we got a book. This is Rosie Revere Engineer.
Yeah, and you want me to hold it up?
Yeah.
It's a very large book.
Yeah.
And it's kind of cute. It's a large hardcover for kids of all ages. It's got this really cool, like instead of having like a weird design, it has like engineering paper. And it's like a really lovely illustrated book about Rosie Revere, the engineer, and about building stuff, and like there's all sorts of electronics and welding and crafting, and it's just like really cool art. So check it out. Really good for somebody if you want to give a book to a parent, or if you're a parent and you want to inspire your child with engineering. This is an awesome book.
Yeah. Okay.
I love to carry kids' engineering books.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Next,
everyone can carry a copy of like Horrors in Hell.
Yeah. Next up, by popular demand, a lot of people asked for Eagle CAD Lite. So this is the light version. It's $59 or $69.
$60, $70.
Yeah, and this is a great way to get started. Look at the specifications. We have the hobbyist
it's for small
ones.
boards, yeah.
We have professional, and we have standard, and now we have light. And this has been working out really well. Eagle is Lady Ada's choice of software, and you use
It's the best of the worst. No.
Yeah.
No. We have a schematic capture and PCB routing modules. I don't include the auto router because it's against my religion. But we have multiple different versions.
Yeah.
Each version, some of them are for commercial use, some are for hobbyist use only, some are like educational only.
Yeah.
Some can only do small boards this big, others can do boards this big, and others are like infinite. When Adafruit got started, I just bought a copy of like the Pro Eagle, and I was like, it's $1,000. But I've actually been using like that version for like 6 years now.
Yeah, and the other thing is the light version can be used commercially.
But just for very small boards.
Yeah,
I think, right?
the hobbyist version can't. So this is actually a great deal.
Yeah, it's a good deal.
Yeah. Okay, so let's keep moving. Now, this is the big one, and this is 10% off right now, which is not great for us, but really good for you. So Lulzbot, we have them. One of the things that people asked was, we'd really like an open source 3D printer. Adafruit, and we said, okay, that's really hard to find because there really isn't an open source 3D printer that we can buy. There's kits and like there's the RepRap thing, but an actual fully formed kit that's in a box that a customer would buy, that was not really around until Lulzbot came along.
Yep,
so,
that's actually open source. Like they've actually published stuff.
And like open source as far as the way that people define like commercial use is allowed, the schematics and source are up. And so the Lulzbot is now in our store.
It's FSF approved.
FSF approved, which is...
They're picky.
Yeah, those guys are like...
They're picky bastards.
They're like the Brits, you know, they have high standards. Yeah, so...
they're not, they're from Cambridge.
Yeah, so here
Cambridge.
it is. And
it's a good printer.
Yeah, and it actually has probably the most diverse amount of materials that you can use with it. The other thing about the Lulzbot is it's supported by a lot of open source organizations. So you've got... FSF, you got RepRap, you got Slicer, FreeCAD, OpenSCAD, Printium, Debian,
Ultimaker,
Ultimachine, Open Hardware, FSLA, Prusa Research, and the Open Innovation Network. So if you're
Prusa likes it, so this is it.
Yeah.
You're a Prusa fan.
And so if you want a 3D printer that respects your freedom and you want to support that, this is a way to do it. So
this is the printer for you.
Yeah, we had MakerBot Adafruit Edition. We're still trying to decide what our strategy is with all the commercial printers that have some open source, some closed source. For now, we have the Lulzbot. So if you want to get one,
you want to support open source hardware
it's
and
available.
3D printers?
You guys asked for
This
it,
is your chance.
so we delivered. These aren't cheap, so we got them, but you get them on a discount. Okay, next up we have NinjaFlex.
Let me just hold up the reel.
Yeah, and
we will have a video for this.
We have a full video that we're doing about NinjaFlex, but this is basically flexible material that comes out of a 3D printer.
It's a spool. It's a half-kilogram spool. It's a little more expensive than your classic PLA or ABS. Check to make sure that your 3D printer can handle this kind of filament. Most can. And what's cool about it is when it prints out, it's a rubbery, flexible, stretchy material.
Great for wearables.
Great for wearables, but great for a lot of projects.
Yeah, one of the cool things that we made is these little 3D printed flexible diffusers so they can go into clothing.
Yeah.
And we put NeoPixels behind them. We did a
we
watch
also made
band.
a watch band, so it's a completely flexible watch band. And it's durable. Black or white, those are the two colors we have right now.
That's kind of Adafruit's thing. We have black and white.
Yeah, whatever, look, it's good enough. Yeah, just check to make sure your 3D printer can handle it. We know for a fact that MakerBots do because we have printed some on a MakerBot.
Yep.
And we will have a video, a tutorial soon, but we already have projects that use NinjaFlex. If you go to Learning System and type in NinjaFlex in the search box, you will get tossed into our wearable projects that use material if you want some ideas.
Yeah. We'll have a video soon that has everything you need to know more.
Yep.
What it can and can't be used for. All right. Next up, Lady Ada. A chip.
Chips.
What's this little chip?
This is a little MP3 decoder and audio encoder chip. It's a codec from VLSI, known as the VS1053B, or if you work for VLSI, you say VS1053B, because they have very strong Finnish accents, which I can't really imitate. But they're an awesome company that makes these MP3 codec chips. They actually have paid the dollar per chip MP3 royalty for you, so you can use this legally and happily, knowing that somebody in Germany is getting $1. They're good chips. You just stream them and MP3 stream data, and it will magically pop out stereo audio. You can also encode wave or ogg vorbis. You can decode MP3, FLAC, wave, ogg vorbis, AAC, a couple other formats, PCM, whatever. There's a couple, you can do settings like volume, bass, treble. It also has a synthesizer built in with like 50 different drum and instruments, and you can use those sort of as a MIDI synth. You just sort of send it MIDI data through to the RX pin at like standard MIDI rates, and it will like play it as if it was a synthesizer. So we have a breakout board for this, but since the chip is not available in the US, it's only available in Finland. We buy 1,000 at a time. We thought we'd put some in the store. They come in cut tape, so we just put them in a bag, and you get one.
Okay. Next up, I heard this project's interesting. This product. No, this is really neat. This is, I think, this is kind of like a classic Adafruit product that you didn't necessarily know if you could use this thing or if you needed it or whatever, and then Lady Ada comes along and has some great demos and examples of what you can do with this. So this is bone conductive speakers.
No, bone conduction speakers.
Bone conduction.
Bone conduct. It's not conductive.
It doesn't.
I mean,
it doesn't. Yeah.
But it conducts sound through bones. Well, it's called an audio transducer, but I call it bone conduction because that's what it's used for. When you see stuff that says bone conduction, this is what is in that device.
Okay. Anything else that you?
Okay, you want to go to the overhead?
Oh, you want to go to the overhead?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm waiting.
I don't know.
That's why I was moving stuff under the overhead.
Okay.
So I have it hooked up here to like an MP3 shield, and normally you would use a speaker, and this is a 4-ohm, 3-watt speaker with like a standard cone, and the way speakers work is that there's a magnetic coil, and the coil moves in and out, and it makes this pulse, and it vibrates, and then it pushes air out, and the air hits you in the ear, and you hear sound. So this is a different device. There's no cone. There is still a coil, but instead of a cone connected to the coil, it actually makes a piece of metal expand and contract very, very fast. So let me hook this up. You can play a short snippet of sound, just so you can get an idea. So when we connect this up, so I'll just touch the speaker so you can kind of hear what. This is a speaker. Okay, so that's audio. You're familiar with that. So this, even though it's vibrating, I can feel it vibrating.
Yeah.
You can maybe kind of hear it because if I touch the piece of metal, it's conducting through my skin. But it's vibrating, but you can't hear it. But if I press it to the table, it makes the table into a basically like a cone.
A speaker, yeah, it's cool. So, and that's just by you pressing it on the table, then you can hear it.
Yeah, you can feel this vibrating. If I hold it, it'll vibrate my skin. If I press it to the camera, the whole camera would turn into a speaker. What this is often used for is if you press this to your ear bone, like your jaw, it'll make your head into a speaker cavity. And I could do it, but you wouldn't hear it. Only I can hear it. Yeah. And it's kind of a cool way of, like, if you don't want to block your ears, but you want to hear audio, it actually has extremely good quality because your skull is an excellent resonant cavity for audio. Another thing you can do is, you can take like a cup or something, and then you can turn it into a directional speaker. Some people, what you can do is if you hold it up to your elbow and then you put your finger in your ear, the sound will travel up your arm bone into your ear. So these are kind of like fun little things. We did a teardown with wearables where we took apart a headband that used one of these for transmitting audio. But this is like fun if you want to have audio or some notification, but you don't want it to be loud. You don't want other people to hear it. You only want one person to hear it, because if it's pressing up against that person's neck or bone or whatever through some fabric, only they'll be able to hear it. So yeah, this is a bone conduction transducer, and it basically thinks it's an 8-ohm speaker, so you can connect it up to any amplifier that can drive an 8-ohm speaker.
Okay.
It's not as efficient as a speaker though, so if you want to get like the max loud for your watts, use a speaker.
Okay, we're gonna need to try to speed through some of these, Lady Ada. We have some cables.
This is, yeah, I can just talk about this one. Let's see if let me get my demo box.
Okay. Do you want to go to the overhead, or do you want to?
Yeah, sure. This is just a little SWD debugging cable. We're doing some ARM stuff coming up, and these are cables that are often used. They're half the pitch of normal IDC cables, and so they're kind of hard to get. They're 0.05 inch instead of 0.1 inch pitch cables. So just don't confuse these what are normally used as larger 10-pin IDC cables. These are quite small in comparison. That's it.
Okay. Oh, and for the folks who wanted to know what that thing was on top of Arduino, that's a new MP3 shield we're working on.
MP3 shield with an amplifier built in.
You're working on an MP3 shield.
Okay.
All right, next up, more cables. So that's the same cable.
Thing.
Here's a Raspberry Pi product.
This is a Raspberry Pi motor shield designed by Ryan Tech. It was a somewhat successful sort of a crowd-funded thing. We thought it would be cool to have this little kit, and the Raspberry Pi Foundation was like, "Hey, you should carry this," and we're like, "Okay, we'll carry it." And so we have it in the store. We have a couple left. It's a kit, but if you don't mind soldering, you can connect 2 DC motors to your Raspberry Pi. Sorry, I'm grabbing the touchscreen.
Okay. And next up, we got screens galore here.
Well, this is a touch screen
going on. Yeah.
So this is a touch screen. It's translucent, so you can see it in the overhead. It is for connecting to an existing TFT screen. We don't actually have the screen this goes with yet. It was delayed out of China for Chinese New Year, but when it comes in, this will be the touchscreen for it. So, I don't know. It's okay. We just had to put it in anyways. Okay. If you already have a screen that's this size, check the dimensions. It's a resistive touchscreen, and you can use it with any resistive touchscreen driver.
Okay. And then we have a lot of other stuff going on here, Lady. These are a bunch of screens. What are you doing with all these screens? I'm just going to... It's just like screens galore, and there's buttons on these screens. You just got a lot of screens. You're going screen crazy.
This is... Okay, so this is a 5-inch... 800 by 480 pixel display that, go back.
Which way do you want to go? This one?
Click on one of the ones with the...
This one?
No, back. Oh. Hold on. There's a lot of pictures. All right. So this is an 800 by 480 pixel display for a Raspberry Pi. It's 5 inches in diagonal. So it's not like a super high resolution, but it's a lot less expensive because you're paying for pixels. For a lot of people who just want a small screen, this is perfectly fine. I also have it live on the overhead so I can show what it looks like. So you've got the screen, and I've got it on this little stand here. And it's a nice bright screen, and you can run X or whatever. It just shows up as an HDMI monitor. You also run it under Windows or your Xbox or whatever, and it comes with a driver. The driver is about the same size as the screen, so you can fit it behind. And then there's an adapter cable that goes from the driver to the screen, and there's also a little keyboard that you can use for, setting up the contrast and brightness, and whether you want to use VGA or HDMI. But if you plug it in with HDMI, it just shows up as a monitor, and it's a nice little screen. We will eventually have a touchscreen version, but right now we have the touchscreen-less version.
Okay. So I'm going to just continue to go through these screen photos. So we have some other things, too.
These are some more photos of the screens themselves.
Yeah.
So this is it in text mode. It's got excellent text mode because it's HDMI, so each pixel is 1 pixel, so you don't have any blurry effects. It looks really good.
Yeah. And then you decided to get...
This is a 50-pin, 0.5 millimeter pitch flex cable. This is used if you want to make the connection between the screen and that HDMI driver longer. It comes with a 4-inch one, but this is a 12-inch one. This comes with 4-inch, that's the default, but we have longer cables if you want. Okay.
And then it looks like we even have more screens.
This is just the display. So if you're interested in using this raw display for something, you can connect up to a BeagleBone, for example, or there's other microcontrollers that can manage that type of display. We have a driver chip called the RA8875. This is a touchscreen-less version. So this is it's a little less expensive because there's no touchscreen. If you don't need to use a touchscreen for your project, this is a good display. this is a different display. This is a 5.6-inch 1280 by 800. We had a version without audio output. Now we have a version that does have audio output. I don't have time to demo it, but I can show the driver board on the overhead.
Okay. Well, I also just have photos.
No, I go to the overhead.
Go to the overhead.
Yeah, I gotta show this thing.
All right.
Okay. So it's the same style of driver. We've got AV, VGA, HDMI, and power in, but it also has a cable that comes out here, and this is the audio output. There's an amplifier chip underneath here. And you can basically use this for HDMI 1.3, which is HDMI audio and video. So this driver board can drive 2 speaker stereo left and right up to 4 ohm, 3 watts. So you can do 8 ohm or 4 ohm speakers up to 3 watts. So it, you know, it's like $10 more, but you get to have like speaker driving capability, and the speaker audio goes through the HDMI cable. So if you have something like a Raspberry Pi, you want better audio, or you know, you want like a little enclosed system where you have speakers as well as a display, this driver board is a lot better, and we package it with the 5.6-inch display. So let's go back to what we're looking for at 1694 orange.
Okay, great.
Back one.
Back one.
So this is that driver board packaged with a 5.6-inch 1280 by 800 display. And we also have it with a 1280 by 800 10-inch display. So 4. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4. No.
Here.
That.
All right, great.
So this is the 10-inch display. Oh, yeah. Just go forward
Okay.
a couple. Maybe we'll find one where it's on.
Oh, where it's on?
Yeah.
Great.
Oh, that's a 5.6-inch. Oops, maybe we didn't grab the
I
photo.
don't think we have the photo.
Okay.
Let's move on to the next product, shall we?
Okay, but it's a big 10-inch screen. We'll have one tutorial with all of these video screens eventually, and we'll show a video of all of them.
Great. So then what is this one? This is like...
That's the same 5.6.
That's the same 5.6.
I think you just grabbed all the
Okay.
photos.
Wonderful.
Or maybe they got swapped. I don't know.
And last up, not last but not least, we have 2 more things. We've got the stand for some of these displays.
Yes, so in some of these photos we have a little stand. It's a bent wire stand. It's super handy if you want to prop up the screen, especially for photos, but also if you have it on your desk. It's called a 7-inch tablet stand, but it actually works with like all sorts of different size screens, from 5-inch, as shown here, to a 10-inch screen. Actually, wait, I think that's the 10-inch screen. It got stuck over there.
Okay.
Yeah.
You want to bounce back to this now.
That's a 10-inch screen.
Great.
There you go. I think we just had them out of order. That's fine. Okay, and then you show with the iPod.
Back
tablet.
to the display here. Okay,
Yeah.
wonderful.
That's it. That's all the screens.
Okay.
It was a screen party.
It was a screen party for sure. That's Moe's Resistance, our game that's on iOS and iTunes right now.
Yes.
And doing really well. People are learning how to do resistor
Learn
guides and
resistor codes.
Yeah.
And play a game.
Okay. Next up.
Finally, we have Fade Candy. So
Yeah.
Micah came by and she's been working on this cool ARM-based NeoPixel driver. It uses a USB protocol to control lots of NeoPixels and does dithering internally on the chip. And so it can, like, even though it's controlling these like 8-bit per color pixels, it actually gets better color depth because it quickly dithers them back and forth between 2 different colors. So you get better color depth, especially when you're doing gradients. The NeoPixels are good, but like when you get to like really fine gradients, they still look a little blocky, just because our eyes are more sensitive at low lights than at like bright lights. They, just basically linearizes the light to be, when you want to have it twice as bright, it actually looks twice as bright instead of like 18 times as bright.
Yeah.
So that's what the Fade Candy does. And it's basically designed so that you can plug it into like processing or Java or C++, or whatever your favorite programming language is, and start outputting video or graphics, and it looks really, really good.
Yeah.
For any kind of NeoPixels.
Yeah.
Strips or squares or whatever.
So here's the deal. We have a video that we can show. Tonight, things are happening weird when we play videos through Ustream and YouTube.
Yeah.
So I'm going to do it. So if we disappear, we'll be right back. But we're going to play a video.
Wow, this is like our last Will and Testament.
Well, yeah, I'm just letting folks know. So this is all about Fade Candy.
Yeah.
So we have the little triangle one, and we have this one. I'm going to just go ahead and do this and see
Okay.
how it goes. Fingers crossed. But we'll be back if anything happens. Okay, fingers crossed, we're back.
We still here?
Yeah.
We still here?
Whew, okay.
We're still here. Okay.
That was new products, Lady Ada.
I did them all.
Yeah, good work.
You gotta give me time. I gotta
Yeah.
show this cool stuff off.
Yeah, well, we just had a couple
I know, we had
technical things.
tragedies.
And then Ustream actually stopped broadcasting
I'm
for a
always
bit.
the one who loses the time because I take up like 25 minutes.
Yeah. So
We need to have a separate new products show that's an hour, and I can just like geek out about.
we should
like,
do this Saturday nights at 10 o'clock, right?
Stop.
Oh, sorry. Okay, so just a reminder, everything you saw that's in stock, Wednesday PM, you get 10% off.
Yes.
Yeah. So, we're going to open it up for questions. We're going to speed through these really fast.
We'll do some fast questions.
Yeah, we were going to show,
Fast.
It's not out yet, don't ask. All this is our
But it's just a NeoPixel we're gonna cat.
It's a NeoPixel
What do
we're
you
going to
care?
cat. So we're going to do
Whatever, it's over.
questions right now. And we're going to look for the questions in...
Nobody wants to look at just a NeoPixel we're gonna cat.
Yeah, we're going to look into questions in the YouTube chat and also the Ustream chat. So type your engineering questions for Lady Ada, and we'll
I'm
see
here.
how it goes.
Ask your questions. Ask them fast.
Yeah, someone did have a. The question before was, what is that thing on top of the?
The cat? It's a
the-
NeoPixel.
No,
what?
the Arduino, and it was.
Oh,
the-
it's a MP3 shell I'm working on.
Yeah, that's cool.
Using that VS 1053B.
Yeah, that's cool. I can't wait for this, and we're able to do that now because we have our stenciler and stuff, right?
Yeah. I
Okay.
did not like to do 0.5 millimeter pitch parts
That's
on
tough.
on the pick and place without the stenciler. Now I can actually do 0.4 millimeter parts trivially. Like we did some Max 98306s and they were perfect. And there's some other Maxim parts that I want to
Yeah.
use, and Maxim loves 0.4 millimeter pitch. So
Okay, here you go.
I
You
can use
ready?
it now.
Can you drive the NeoPixel Mini PCB Pack of 5 from a Raspberry Pi?
nope.
Okay. Next up, does the Fade Candy board mean that NeoPixels can be used with the Raspberry Pi now?
Yes, if it's supported, but I just don't know if the NeoPixel. I mean, I guess you could write it in raw Python, but I know that there's example code. If it is, then yeah, you can use that as a bridge between NeoPixels. But directly, a Raspberry Pi cannot drive NeoPixels. It needs to have something in the middle, like
Okay.
an Arduino or a Fade Candy or something.
Next up, what kind of solder do you recommend for small electronics projects?
For if you're just doing it and you're not in Europe, I'd get leaded solder. 0.03 inch diameter, I think, is kind of common, or 0.02 for surface mount.
Yeah.
Go to Radio Shack or whatever and just get a small tub of it, or we have some at Adafruit if you have a larger roll you want.
Yeah. Next up, what's your favorite terminal emulator? Do you have one?
Putty's okay.
Yeah.
Putty's okay.
Okay. Next up, this was a question. I'm doing YouTube and Ustream chats.
Okay.
Someone wanted to know, can you give me advice on making an open hardware keyboard? Well, I would say first, go look at the Oshawa site because I have this big guide on like making open hardware, like all the things you should consider. And then for actually making the keyboard itself, what do you think, Lady Ada? Like, there's some open source hardware keyboards you could probably start to build off of, but the
probably
keypads.
people. Well, yeah, you'd have to get the keypads, and then you'd have to just build a gigantic switching matrix.
Yeah.
But luckily, all that example code is kind of out there, and then you would use either something like a micro Arduino Leonardo to convert that into USB, which is probably the easiest way to do it. You just need a matrix driver. I just don't know about one offhand, but find one that can do 16 by 16 keys, and you're set.
Okay. Next up is, what's the best way to power an Arduino Micro and 16 NeoPixels from a car 12 volts?
If you want to be fancy, then using one of our buck converters, we have the Traco 3 volt or 5 volt buck converter. It'll take 12 volt in and give you 5 volt out. It'll be very efficient. It'll give you, instead of losing 60% of your power, you'll only lose like 8 or 5% of your power. So I would use a buck converter. We have a couple in the shop.
Okay.
5 volt out.
Can you attach a plain old stereo jack onto the transducers and drive it from any audio device that puts out the right power requirements?
If it does have the right power requirement, then yeah, just watch out because it's 8 ohm, 1 watt. So that's not a headphone out. You need to have it be, a speaker out, drive out, which is why we have speaker amplifiers. And they work with any speaker amp that we have in the store. We have some Class D amps. But like, I wouldn't plug it straight into your iPod. I mean, it probably has protection circuitry, but it could blow it out.
Okay. Next up, can the boards from the pick and place be auto-fed and refill oven? Yes, in fact.
It can be what? You just slowly swallowed it.
Yeah. Can the boards go into the reflow oven? Yes.
It could.
Yeah,
we don't do that.
We don't have it set up. In fact, we're doing a bunch of more things to upgrade our manufacturing, like board loaders and things like that. So we'll probably have a little overview of how we do stuff in fab. It's not required to have it fed into it. It's just
it's not always people do that, because some boards we actually take out and we put some parts by hand that cannot be pick and place, like they're too big or they're pointy or something. Also, our oven does not have a cable connection to go back to tell it when it's empty. Or, like there is no sensor that says, hey, I have space for another board. Although our pick and place is slower than the oven, it's just safer to have a person do it. It's pretty easy. You can do 3 boards at a time, so you have like a minute to grab one and put it over. You don't have to be you don't have to be there all day, like moving it back and forth.
Okay, and it's gonna be the last question of the night.
Last question.
And this one's a tough one because it's just what tool you use. So someone wants to know what are the pros and cons for EagleCAD and KiCad. It's actually kind of what, like, you learned EagleCAD, so you really...
I learned EagleCAD. Yeah. EagleCAD has just more examples out there.
Yeah.
So if you want to learn by example, there are more examples for EagleCAD. But KiCad is open source. It's free.
Yeah.
It'll always be around. You never have to worry about file formats or support. It'll always be around.
Yeah.
Some people like it. I mean, they're both very powerful. You can design the same boards on either one.
Yeah.
KiCad was not around really when I started.
Yeah.
I just used
like Bunny uses Altium. Like he does like it's this.
But he's doing like 8-layer boards for single board computers, which Eagle can do. But maybe he's like, look, I want some of the power that Altium has. As you pay more, you'll get more capabilities, whether it's simulation or trace width, matching or differential feeding. All the stuff that Eagle might not be as good at, and KiCad might not have either.
Okay. Thanks so much, folks. That's the round of questions. We're going to leave more time next week. Hopefully, we won't have the streaming gods weren't on our side for some of the night. But we got through it together.
We have to sacrifice something.
Wednesday night was made for us, and we were made for it.
Okay.
Okay. So it's now trivia question time.
Okay.
Data, what are the rules?
Rules are, if you've won a prize from the trivia contest, you can't enter again. Only one winner per lifetime. That's my lifetime. The first person to enter in the right whatever into the text in the Ustream, was it Ustream or YouTube? Or both.
So
you'll check both.
I look at both, and wherever I see first goes. Because there's syncing issues, so I just see whatever.
Ustream is usually a teeny bit faster.
Yeah,
just letting you know. Whoever shows up first, either Ustream or YouTube, with the correct answer wins the fabulous prize. The prize today is a bone conduction transducer.
Yeah.
Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah. That's a good choice.
That's a good choice, because you fit can, you have to NeoPixel something, you have to get all the accessories. Bone connection, it's like, speaker amplifier.
Okay.
Get a LM386, you're done.
So, this was on Time Travel Tuesday, and so it'll be easy for you guys to do, just find the blog post. Which famous American astronomer...
You're like dying on me here?
Yeah, I'm kind of fading.
Okay.
Astronomer...
Do you remember this? Which famous
1906.
American astronomer was born in 1906
and
on this day?
On this day, and best known for discovering Pluto. Sorry about that. I was stumbling because I was going to say...
Pluto, which may or may not be a planet.
I was going to say planet Pluto, and I'm like, oh my god, I don't want to deal with this.
Which may not be a planet, may be a planet. That's not the question. The question is, who discovered it? Born in 1906.
Yeah, sorry.
American. God bless America.
I didn't want to turn it into a Pluto debate.
Okay, it's not about Pluto. It's about the sky.
Yeah. Okay, and let's see who got it.
You will get this fabulous bone conduction transducer.
Yeah. It's not Ken Thompson, but that was a nice guess.
Nice try.
Yeah.
That would be really cool if it was like, yeah, I developed Unix and also discovered Pluto.
Yeah.
And it was a planet, and now it's not.
Yeah. Let's see who got it. Okay. Free Zoner. Congratulations. It is Clyde William Tombaugh. Congratulations. Best known for discovering Pluto and also the some asteroid belts, and for thinking about the scientific exploration of UFOs.
Okay.
As a serious thing.
Congratulations, Free Zoner. You can attach this to your e-meter.
Yeah, Free Zoner. Email support@adafruit.com and
you'll win this thing.
Okay. All right.
Congrats.
Okay.
All right, that almost was totally perfect.
Yeah.
That was a great show.
Yeah, that was good.
Let's show them the cat again.
What, on the NeoPixels?
Yeah, look, they say they want a cat, they get a cat.
Okay.
Free cat.
Yeah, that's the cat.
Beta cat. That cat, he didn't like it. Too bright.
Okay, just a reminder, folks, the code is Wednesday, 8 p.m. Just use that. You get 10% off everything in the Adafruit store.
All the stuff we showed
that's in
off.
stock. We had lots of stuff here. And a reminder, don't forget Wednesday night, 7:30, we have show and tell, and then 8 p.m. as you saw.
Don't try to come here on Saturday. We won't be here. We're not going to be here.
Yeah, we're not.
We're going to
be
be playing Candy Crush. Okay.
And
don't come here.
yeah.
Not here.
Yeah. And
Happy weekend.
as always, we have a picture of MOSFET. We'll see everybody next week.
We already showed it. Oh, you want to show another picture of MOSFET?
Yeah, we have to show 2 pictures. And
Okay.
then here is your moment of Zener.